Good afternoon. We have breaking news of a major explosion in the city of Beirut, Lebanon. Here's a live look at the smoke over that city right now. The explosion happened in the city's port area, but the blast appears to have done damage throughout the city. The Lebanese health minister says that there are many injuries and describes the damage as extensive. ABC's Ian Pannell joins us by phone now. Ian, what do we know?
Yeah, I mean, there are very few facts. There are far more questions right at the moment. What is clear is that there was one, possibly two, very, very large explosions. This is in an area down by the port area. Some of those buildings are used for storage. What we saw, first of all, from some of the videos appearing on social media is a series of small explosions, or the sounds perhaps of fireworks going off. And then one of the cameras captures from the distance, all this video still needs to be verified, what can only be described as a massive explosion, certainly one of the largest I've ever seen. It throws a mushroom cloud up into the sky. Windows are blown out, the facades of buildings are blown out, and the damage is extensive. I've even seen someone in Cyprus, which is an island out in the Mediterranean, saying they heard and felt the shockwave from that explosion. I've seen video of it from multiple angles. The question, of course, is what actually happened. Was this just a fireworks storage area? We know it comes at a time of increased tension between Israel and Hezbollah, which is a militant group that's part of the government there. There have been armed attempts by both sides against each other. Israel is constantly going after Hezbollah in Syria. People on the ground are asking the question, was this a military strike? It's not impossible, of course, but it would absolutely raise the stakes and the consequences would be enormous. Was it just simply an accident that happened in an area where at least fireworks, if not some kind of munitions, were stored? The answer to that question, putting aside the level of damage and the numbers of injuries, which, given the size of that explosion, could be catastrophic, putting that just to one side temporarily, the longer, bigger consequences for the region could be great, depending on the answer. Was it foul play or was it an accident? Diane?
It's a big question that will need answers, but looking at this image, Ian, I mean, it's incredible. It looks like a war zone. We're hearing reports of ceilings collapsed, balconies knocked down, glass everywhere. This is quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, I mean, significant damage, and people need to understand the timing of this is, I mean, it's devastating for any city. But Lebanon is also in the depths of an crisis. People are unemployed on a bigger scale than ever. People are talking already about the future of the country being doomed. The hospitals are full of coronavirus patients. We're seeing reports of some people who've been injured in this explosion turning up with blood running from their faces, but unable to receive any kind of medical attention. So Beirut is not equipped to handle any kind of explosion and the consequent injuries of this kind. The truth is, not many cities would be, but certainly not Beirut, certainly not Lebanon, not now. The timing could not have been any worse.
That's for sure. We see so many places dealing with things that would have been challenging in normal circumstances, and this certainly qualifies, but let alone within a global pandemic. We're wishing them well. Ian, we appreciate the report. We know you'll stay on this for us. And again, so many questions still left to be answered as to what caused this explosion. Ian Pannell, we appreciate the report. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
And do stay with us with ABC News Live for continuing coverage and additional news, context, and analysis. Stay safe, everybody.